Right, so this is my daily breakdown for today, right? June 25th, 2025, starting with GBP AUD. Currently, GBP AUD, we're tapping into a weekly 007 zone here. So we can be looking for a bounce. If we look higher time frames like monthly, just to get a better context, we can see that price is going back up. We haven't been this high since 2015, and then we're having this indecision candle. So we may be starting to go back low, or we could be going back high. But for the most part, we are going up right now. So we'll just follow the trend because the trend is the friend. What we notice here is that we have a first low that has not been mitigated yet, or tapped into, mitigated, whatever word you want to use. So we just keep that in context. We have this really large demand zone that we're still in right now, has not been taken out, right? Let me just double check here, make sure my sources are correct. Yeah, yeah, so demand zone slash range, that's still here. So we're still like in a bullish range here on the daily too, but this has been going on since like May. We've been having this sideways movement here. But anyways, so we had a breakout here. Looks like we're creating a first low, a new first low. And this is on the daily. So let's see here. Well, this is more of an internal first low because our first low would actually be this one right here, this guy right here. But it was already well taken, so we just don't even have that marked, right? So we've taken liquidity on the daily, so we're just doing a little consolidation, probably some liquidity sweeping, not even probably. Here on the 4 hour, we already tapped into our demand zone, so not even tripping about the first low. So we've already confirmed that we're tapping into those orders on the bounce up. In terms of the 1 hour, just contextually looking at this, we had a break, and then we tapped right back into this 1 hour demand, but we broke out, and then we had another tap, so we might be collecting orders again before we shoot up again. Not sure if that will happen, but that's what the context looks like. Right now, we are in a bearish time frame when it comes to the 15-minute and the 5 minute. We just made bullish here. For my own sanity, since we are technically still in a bullish, in a bearish 1 hour time frame, and we haven't had this bounce that we usually like. Like we like bounces like that, from the man zone. We like just bounces, right? This is doing sort of like this did like a one bounce, then it came right back down. So it's not really, this has already been mitigated. So in terms of it having another bounce, not quite sure. So just to be on the safe side, we want to kind of play this out and see what this plays out to be, because this may as well just go straight down from here. And then looking at the context on the weekly, we have this, these indecisions up here. But more so on the monthly, we had the strong indecision candle at the top. So we might be heading down from here. Because remember, we haven't been this high since 10 years ago. So I'm just going to watch for more of like a mid-time frame structure shift, like the 1 hour. I feel safer seeing a 1 hour structure shift. Yeah, right up here. All right, next we have Euro USD. Weekly first low has not been taken yet. So we just keep that in context once again. This first low has not been taken. If we jump to an even higher time frame, higher context. I mean, we don't have to, but just to look at, just to see where the snake head is going, right? Looks pretty much bullish, yeah. If we move down to a daily, we've already had a first low that was taken, which is right here. That daily first low is taken. And then we actually we already mitigated this demand zone. So we just say daily demand zone mitigated, right? So what's next? Drop down, because obviously we're heading for a new higher high. Um, yeah. So what it looks like is that on this new higher high, we're creating a new daily first low. But also on the 4 hour, what we do is we see, because this is a 4 hour here, just checking to see, this would all be range. So our first, yeah, so it looks like right now we're about in a small bullish frame on the 4 hour. We could be creating a first low. This isn't like really convincing first low information to me. So we could be creating a structure shift on the 4 hour to begin to create a daily first low. Okay, so we're just looking at it from context. We're not going to get in just yet. Weekly demand zone looks like it was already mitigated here. Okay, we pushed up. Daily supply zone mitigated, right? Okay, so we swept the 4 hour first high, which is here. We're in this daily, daily supply zone coming out. Looks like we're coming out of the daily supply zone. We're waiting for a structure shift now, right? Either a structure shift up to begin to start going up, price to start going up, or we're looking for more of a 1 hour structure shift here, which is what we're kind of starting. You can see we're kind of creating in just a moment. So I want to see a structure shift, and then I want to see more of lower time frame confirmations that we're bouncing away from this supply zone and moving down. USD JPY weekly first high, still unmitigated. We got a first high here, way up here, right? Daily first high was already taken, which is right here. And then, but also we did have a supply zone here on the daily, but as you can see, it was already mitigated, so we don't even count that anymore. And it was a strong rejection from it. So we're waiting for a 4 hour first high to form. As you can see, it's forming. It's coming up. It's doing its thing. So we just got to let it play out. USD CNH, we are currently still at this 4 hour supply zone. The first high was taken on the 1 hour, so we have that lower low. But look what just happened right in front of our eyes. We are having a break. Hold on. Maybe so. But the 4 hour was already taken, but it looks like we're gonna take it. Come on now. That's mad disrespectful. That's like kissing my wife and telling me you ain't doing nothing with her. Yeah, but we could see that it went over this 4 hour supply zone. So right before our eyes, look at that. So wonderful. I wanted to see that just to confirm. So yeah. So 4 hour was already taken though. It was already taken. But you see it just danced right over that line too. So what we might be having is a structural shift that's happening. Yeah. So if we go down to the 1 hour, go down to our 1 hour, what we might be looking at is going up to the upside. Yeah. Because the daily, yeah, what we might be looking for is yeah. So daily here, it's like demand zone was mitigated. I think I'm in supply zone. Yeah, the daily supply zone. That's why language is so important, because I'm like, what? Yeah, so supply zone was mitigated already with this candle. This bearish candle came in and tapped in. So what we could be having is, let's see, let me just check the monthly here. Yeah. Yeah, so we're bearish now. Let's see. Where are we? Where are we? Yeah, we would be bearish, but what happened is that we would be bearish. So we had a shift of structure, and then we broke it again, right? So we had a shift of structure, and then we went lower again. So we're going lower here. So we're bearish. So on this monthly, we are looking like we had a strong rejection here, and we might be heading to the downside. So yeah, we can still look for sales. We can still look for sales. Let me see here. We're having this consolidation though, and this has been happening since 2023. See this sideways movement? That's what we don't like. We don't like that. A lot of sideways movement. You know what I'm saying? So just gotta be careful. Probably shouldn't even be looking at this, but we tapped into it. Let me see. Maybe I'll just pass this one. Just because I don't like this sideways movement that's been happening. Maybe it'll pass. All right. So right now, what we need to see is we've had a daily mitigation of our supply zone, 4 hour. As you can see, it did not respect our supply zone, and it already took our demand zone. I mean our first high, right? Okay, let's say technically this is what it's doing, right? Let's just say technically what it's doing is this is our supply zone, right? No, I'm not too convinced because yeah, it was taken. Our first high was taken because this is our bullish candle, and then it was taken by a bullish candle. If this was a bullish candle, then I would say it was. But since it's a bearish candle, it actually took that liquidity, and then it headed down and closed under, right? So and then it continued going under too. So that's what it did, right? So, but, here's the but. You guys ready for the but? We did not tap into a 4 hour supply zone, right? Because we're at the 4 hour supply zone. So if we broke here, our supply zone is right here. This is our 4 hour supply zone. So guess what? Guess what? Guess what? We have a 4 hour supply zone that is unmitigated. 4 hour supply zone, unmitigated. Unmitigated 4 hour supply zone. All right, so what we can do is now we can wait for a tap here to happen. Yeah, so we can wait for a tap to happen at the 4 hour demand supply zone. And we'll throw a little alert on there. Supply zone. All right, here we go. USD MXN. Okay, so weekly, the first high is forming on the weekly. As you can see, as you can sizzle. The supply zone was already mitigated. We have a new yeah, no, actually, weekly, yeah, weekly first high was already taken. Weekly first high taken, yeah, I missed that one. And the supply zone was mitigated because this was our, we'll take this one away. There's no point in having that one, but our supply zone was here. So you can see it was tapped into already. And this was, first high was actually, yeah, it was actually this one right here. First high was right here. Whoops, whoops, whoops. It's right here, right? And that was already taken. First high was already taken on the weekly. It tapped right into this supply zone. Right? It's not rocket science. The daily was taken. As you can see, it swept into this weekly supply zone. Let me just label this so I don't forget. Right? And this is also a daily supply zone that it tapped into, right? Perfectly. So if we move down to a 4 hour, we're waiting for a 4 hour. Oh, look, looks like we're creating one right now. This can possibly be our 4 hour first high that we're looking for, right? And then from here, let's see, 007 zone is right around there. So yeah, we're creating a first high, so we'll just keep an eye on that. Next, NZD, JPY. Okay, so weekly formed, first high was formed, first low was formed, should we say. It's not tapped into yet. Daily was formed, not tapped into yet. Tapped into demand zone, so it can definitely just take off there. So we don't even need this daily because it already tapped into our demand zone. 4 hour. Let me check on the monthly real quick just to see where we're at. Yeah, so it can definitely be going higher. We're bullish context. So 4 hour, what we're looking for is a first low. For a first low on the 4 hour. We already tapped into this last 4 hour and took that. We can take that off. So we're just waiting for a new first low on the 4 hour. All right, so I think I'm back here. Do we do this? European? Let's do this. CAD JPY. We're currently waiting for a 1 hour first low, but let's just double check. So weekly is bull. Weekly is bull, having a pullback. Oh, we actually tapped into. No, we didn't tap into a weekly. Weekly demand zone. So weekly demand zone, unmitigated demand zone, unmitigated. Okay, daily is bearish. First low was taken though from this last range here. Tapping the demand zone. Okay, so we're jumping up in the demand zone here, and then 4 hour. Yeah. Damn. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, we could be going lower to because this demand zone hasn't been mitigated. So we could be going lower to touch into this weekly demand zone. That's what it looks like. Daily is bearish. 4 hour is bearish. This is what I would say is a small 4 hour first high. All right. First hour, first high. First high, not taken. Okay. We look into our 007 zone. Oh, hold on, let me see something. Do we have a structure shift? We show D, yeah. Yeah, that looked like a small structure shift right in there. Looked like we had a structure shift, so, but that's okay though. We're still, I think we're still headed for this first high. So we'll put our first high, 4 hour first high, give us an alert for this when we touch that, and then we'll be heading down toward our weekly demand zone. So right there, yeah, you see that 007? First high is right in between that 007 zone. in 007 zone. In 4 hour, let me just clarify, 4 hour 007 zone. All right, so that's what we're waiting on right now. We have our alert there. We have our alert there. Weekly first low taken. This is Euro PLN. The weekly first low is already taken. The weekly demand zone was unmitigated. Okay. The daily first low looks like we're on our way to take that one, right? And we have a demand zone that was already mitigated though. So we might see it's just price just continue to go toward our demand zone, our weekly demand zone. Let me look at the 4 hour here. The first low, the first high was already taken on the 4 hour. And it looks like, I don't know what the hell this is. Let's delete that. So the first high, oh, was the daily not taken? Okay, so we might be looking to take this daily. Yeah, we might be looking to take this daily and then we might go back up. Could be that. But we already tapped into the demand zone, so I'm not sure if that would be worth it. We already took our first high. Now I think it's gonna keep going down though, but it's gonna go toward the weekly unmitigated demand zone. That's my suspicion. So on the 4 hour, what we're gonna do is wait for a new first high, and wait for new first high, which is forming right here. This will be our new demand zone, which was already tapped into. I mean, a supply zone, 4 hour supply zone, I was already tapped into. Yeah, it's already tapped into. This is interesting. Yeah, that 1 hour that was already taken. And the 1 hour supply zone was already taken. It's pretty interesting, right? 1 hour was already taken. I mean, we might essentially be ready. Let's see. And let's put on our handy dandy. Okay, so we're bullish here. We got a lower low. Right, lower low, lower high. Right, we're here. We're coming from a 15-minute. I mean, this looks like it's ready for sales. In my opinion, yeah. So we're gonna let's go to a 1 minute or 5 minute. Let's see a 1 minute. Let's go back into a 5. Okay. Okay, so let's go to 3. Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I definitely want to see a structure shift. I want to see a structure shift. A clear structure shift down here. I want to see a clear structure shift to the downside, and then I want to see a new supply zone and maybe a confirmational entry. So 5 minute structure shift. That's what we're looking for. All right, so that's it. We already went over USD MXN and USD CAD. All right, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 solid pairs for the 25th of June, 2025. All right, that is my daily breakdown for today. I'm going to try to get these a little bit shorter, but right now, just working out the strategy. So until then, indifference is the difference. Peace.